Hello reselling friends, Bridget here with some more Depop sales. If you are new to my channel, I am Bridget. I thrift and sell items in the Midwest under the name Chaotic Good and some other names depending on how long I've been on a certain platform. I like to sell items on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Depop, and very occasionally Etsy. So this video is going to show you my March 2022 sales on Depop. Depop is a selling platform that I've been putting more effort into and learning a lot about what sells and what sells quick and what will eventually sell versus other platforms. So if you are interested in learning that, please follow along with me. So if you watched my last video, you know that February was a terrible month. That's okay. We still had some sales, still had a couple good sales in February, but March was much better. I think I had about twice as many sales in March. So let's kick them off. First up, I sold a BCB Generation striped drape pocket midi dress, which was in a woman's small. So this was a nice dress, striped and great colors, but it had been around for about a year. Maybe I didn't get it out in time for dress sales last summer, but this sold for $20.30. Then next up was my biggest sale of the month and perhaps my biggest sale of the year so far on Depop. This vintage Austrian made green wool coat that was, as I said, vintage and imported by the Tyrolean Loden Company to New York. So it had this great label, great style. It actually was something that we bought for my daughter. She decided she wasn't going to wear it, so we took it out of the closet and listed it, and it sold for $110. Fees on that were about $17, so left me with about over $90 profit. So that was great. Then from coats to shorts, I sold this pair of Union Bay vintage jean shorts. Also used the word carpenter and jorts from Union Bay, and it had the Union Bay hardware on it as well. Those sold for $18. Then this t-shirt sold for $10.50 on a discount. It, cannot say this name, I don't think. Leota Machida is a martial artist, and so this was kind of an affliction style shirt, and so that sold for $10.50 on Depop. Also on the 11th, I sold this pair of Libby Edelman Page black faux suede mules with cute little charms on them. They sold for $20. And then on the 15th, I sold these clip-on earrings that were roses, and they were painted pink, otherwise gold tone. And I used the words cottagecore and floral and cottage and prairie core on those. Then on the 19th, I had someone reach out to see if I could bundle a couple items, and I went ahead and created a custom listing just to make sure it worked together. It was a book of strawberry crafts, so again, cottagecore, and bunny cross-stitch birth announcement. So that was also kind of crafty cottagecore. Those sold for $19.60 plus shipping. Also on the 19th, I sold this brown corduroy jacket by Eddie Bauer in a size men's 44. It was chocolate brown, and luckily it had the measurements in it, so that made it easy to list. It was only listed for a couple weeks, and I used the keywords dark academia, light academia, academia. Those are good looks to use for plaids, tweeds, and things that your college professors might wear. Then from the 20th to the 22nd of March, Depop did this really great promotion. They were waiving the seller fees for anything that was discounted 30% or more. So since seller fees are about 10%, basically meant if you discounted your stuff 30%, you lost out on 20% of the selling price, but you weren't paying the fees. So it was basically like a 30% discount to the customer, while I only have to mark it down what would be the equivalent of 20%, if that makes sense. They still charged a fee for payment processing, but that's usually around 5% or so. So to kick those sales off, I started out with selling another watch. I've been very happy with the ability to sell just kind of fashion casual watches. This was a very 80s looking one with a black face and bright, colorful polka dots on it. And the person was very happy to receive that. That sold for $10.50. Then I sold another tie for $17.50. So that was marked, I think that would make it at about $25. So mark that down, and it sold. And on the 21st, I sold a pair of Old Navy jeans that my daughter had as hand-me-downs. So those went for $14. So didn't quite make our money back on those, but that's, at least we got a little something back. Those were ones we had bought new. They were the Alicia high-rise, wide-leg, light wash jeans. And then also on discount for $26, someone picked up this black cashmere sweater by Oscar de la Renta. It had great beading on it and was in really good vintage condition. And another item that did not last long in my closet was this vintage cow vest in a farm print. It had sunflowers and Holstein or black and white cows and funky little buttons. So that sold for $21. I picked it up a couple weeks ago, a couple weeks prior at our local bins or pay by the pound place. On the 22nd of March, I sold a hat that I had picked up at a conference many years ago and never wore it, so I figured I'd put it out into the world for someone else to wear. That sold for $10.50. I did discover a little stain on the underside of the brim, and was able to get that out before it went out. So I wanted to make sure it went out looking great, because I said it was new as I had never worn it, but apparently it picked something up in storage. But that was happily received, got good feedback on that. And then also another hat picked up at the bins for a whole 97 cents and listed for less than 2 weeks. I think actually this sold within about 2 days of being listed. It's this Life is Good spell out dog campfire marshmallow strap back hat in olive. So Life is Good makes t-shirts and hats and all sorts of things, and it apparently has a pretty good sell-through rate. So I think I've picked up one t-shirt before, and I saw this hat and I said, we'll try it. It's not too expensive, and sure enough, it sold right away for $14. Then the promotion was over on Depop, so I raised many of my prices back up with maybe a 10% or a 20% discount. And so on the 24th, I sold these Wrangler Riggs workwear utility jeans. They were kind of double layered. They're in a size 36 by 36, and I called them lightly distressed. So they did have some wear, but they weren't like destroyed by any means. And those sold for $21.60. Then I sold a pair of, I love these, vintage brown pleated pants from the 80s, which I recognized just based on the style. Those sold for $45. Again, in addition to the 80s and Office, I think I also used, but I also put these as dark academia and academia because they were kind of a tweedy, traditional look. And on the 28th, I sold these Avon perfume bottle candlesticks, which I have had around forever, and they always got good interest, but nobody ever bit. So finally somebody purchased them for $20 on Depop, and I packaged them up very carefully and sent them off to their new home, where I hope they are on display looking lovely. Then on the 29th, Depop revisited that promotion again, where if you drop items by 30%, they will waive the selling fees. So I sold a couple items on the 29th. The first was this cream dress with short sleeves, and it had lace. It was very lovely, kind of finish. I marked this as cottagecore because I thought it was kind of, with the puffy sleeves and the laciness, it kind of had that prairie feel. You could wear it out on a picnic or in a walk in the woods, or whatever you could do when you're cottagecoring. So that sold for $21. And then next up, some Faded Glory jean shorts in a size 16W. They were high-waisted and a medium blue. Those sold for $17.50. And then my final sale for the promotion on the 29th was some Old West cowboy boots in a size 7. I had picked these up at the bins, and I reconditioned them, kind of cleaned them up a little. They were, in used condition, but I really thought I did a good job freshening them up a little. Old West, so these sold for $27.30 on the 30% discount. They are not like a very popular big name brand, I should say, but Western style is really big right now. And again, they did not cost me that much to begin with. It was probably more of my time and cleaning them up. So I thought it was a good sale, and I knew that they would find an owner in good condition and in a good size. And then to close out the month, I had 3 sales on the 31st. The first was this blue jacket with white contrast stitching, and I tagged it workwear because I kind of had workwear vibes to me. It actually is a catalog brand called Corette. I've had it forever, since I started reselling. It was one of the first things I bought, and I liked it. From time to time I considered pulling it out for myself, but I don't need a jacket, and so I hung on to it, and it sold for $10. So I hope that the person who gets it wears it a lot and likes it, because it's a nice little jacket. Next up was some LL Bean's corduroy pants, straight leg in navy blue, and these sold for $18 to someone who has had these pants before and was looking for that style. So that's one of the things I like about the pants and different styles, basics, where you can get the style name. People will look for those same Casco pants or the Alicia high-rise jeans, whatever they are. A lot of people, myself included, appreciate going back to those same styles that they know are going to work for them. And then finally, another trendy item, the Beanie Hat. This was an Adidas black double layer knit hat, and it sold for $12.75. I had picked it up again just a few weeks earlier at the By the Pound place. So that was another good sale. It sold about as fast as I thought, because I knew the beanies were a good pickup if you price them right. So all in all, that was about $550 in sales on Depop in March 2022. I paid about $70 in fees to Depop, and there were also a few PayPal fees. Depop accepts both their payments and PayPal. So the PayPal adds in a different layer of fees, but I'm still happy to make those sales. So thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you want to keep hearing what is selling on Depop, and I will soon have some hauls and other information for you soon. And of course, I will be back with April sales when those are ready for you. Thanks so much.